Hello, welcome to A Few Minutes with Peter. I'm Buddy Pennington, pastor of Westfield Assembly of God in Holmes County, Florida, the host for the study. This video is going to take a look at 1 Peter chapter number 2, beginning with verse 18 down through verse 21. I'm going to read that for you now out of the New Living Translation, if you allow me to do so. You who are slaves must submit to your masters with all respect. Do what they tell you, not only if they are kind and reasonable, but even if they are cruel. For God is pleased when, conscious of His will, you patiently endure unjust treatment. Of course, you get no credit for being patient if you are beaten for doing wrong. But if you suffer for doing good and endure it patiently, God is pleased with you. For God called you to do good, even if it means suffering, just as Christ suffered for you. He is your example, and you must follow in His steps. Now, in this part of his letter to the believers, Peter is continuing his statements about submitting to authority. In the last video, we talked about submitting to secular governmental authorities. In this particular instance, Peter is talking about slaves submitting to their masters. He's telling them you need to make sure that you submit to your masters, obey your masters, even if they are not kind to you. He said if you suffer unjustly when you're doing good, then God is going to be pleased with you if you will suffer and endure it patiently, like Christ suffered and endured patiently the terrible things that happened to Him. Because He is our example of doing good and suffering any injustice that comes to us patiently. Now, I'd like to point something out to you that we need to consider in our modern day society. Most of the people watching this video are not going to be slaves who have to submit to their masters. However, a great many of us have and possibly still are working for people who have employed us. And if we're self-employed, then we are working for our customers. Allow me to encourage you. Submit yourselves to your employers. Be willing to do good, even if your employers do not treat you well. Now, that sounds like kind of a contradiction in our modern day society in North America, to be willing to suffer when people are wronging us. But we need to understand that our reputations as Christians many times are going to be on the line when we have a boss who is treating us unjustly. They're going to notice how we react to what is going on around them. And if we bow up at them, if we get mad at them, if we pout and throw fits in their presence, as many people in the world do today, then they're going to look at us and say, you're supposed to be a Christian. And you are. You're supposed to be Christ-like. Allow me to encourage you. Suffer when you are unjustly punished for something, when you are unjustly treated badly by a boss. Do it patiently. You need to understand, God will bring you out in the end. He will reward you for your patience and for your good works in spite of having a bad boss. Remember this. He sees your situation and He will help you deal with this trial. It's my prayer that these videos will be a blessing to you. If you have questions or comments, please leave them for us in the space provided after the blog. Thank you for watching us today. Allow me to encourage you to visit our Facebook page, which is Westfield AG at 2513 Cypress Street. May God richly bless you until next time when we get together for A Few Minutes with Peter.